chaps, this is our last part of this lesson, which I know it's quite hectic, and we're going to look at tans, okay, equation involving tans. And because we already did it with sine, cosine, things should be pretty easy. So I actually made the level a bit more difficult, because the thing is, you're not always, especially in grade 11 and 12, you're not always going to get a trigonometric equation like tan theta equals 0.1. Okay, we're going to make your life a little bit more complicated. So that's what I've done now. Okay? All right, so let's look at this equation, which is, by the way, from the classwork that I'm going to put underneath this video. That's question F, so don't have to do that one. 2 tan theta minus 0.82, okay? Yes, 2 tan theta minus 0.82 equals 0. And we also told that theta is between 0 and 180. So not necessarily, or not more than 180. Let's see what we can do. So first of all, I can't really put tan minus 1 because before I had things like tan theta equals 0.1. Then I can just do theta equal tan minus 1, 0.1. I don't have it here. But a tiny little bit of algebra and you're there. Move the 0.82 to the other side. We'll write 2 tan theta equals 0.82. How do you get rid of that? 2 divided by 2. Tan theta equals 0.41. Voila! We got to that first, we got to get exactly to where we need to be, okay? Now we need to think, okay, let's just use the calculator, okay? So we find theta equal tan minus 1, 0.41. That's the calculator. Shift tan 0.41 equal 22.29. 22.29 degrees. Is that right? Yes. Now, that's one answer. But we know we have another answer. Okay? Now, we're talking about positive tan. So we've got to ask ourselves, where is tan positive? So if you remember, student take cook. Okay, so it's positive here. Obviously, we got one answer. The other place it's positive is there. Let's try and think a bit why it's positive here. Well, what is tan? Tan theta is your y, the opposite, divided x, adjacent. So it's y over x. Okay? So obviously it's going to be positive here, but it's also going to be positive there because x and y are both negative. Negative divided by negative is positive. Okay? So that's the second solution. Okay. Well, so that's the first solution. The second solution, how do I go from here to there? I'm just adding 180. 22.29 plus 180. And we figure out by ourselves 202.29. Just check me, I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. Okay? So that's the two solutions. Okay? Now we need to ask ourselves, are both solutions valid? Okay? Or for this question. What was the question? The question was, which theta will solve this equation? With theta going to be between 0 and 180. So I know I told you there's always two solutions, or there's almost always two solutions, and there are two solutions. But here they specify the region between 0 to 180. So which one is the correct solution? Okay, obviously it's that one, not that one. Okay, 200 is more than 180, so we chuck away. Okay, we all right with that? Now, that wasn't the question here, but let's try and solve another equation, okay, just to show what happens if it's minus, because now we have positive. So let's say tan theta is equal minus 0.41. So here we have positive, now we have negative. Okay, how do we solve that? Okay, remember, well, first of all, we will find the wrong solution, which is tan minus 1 of 0.41, the positive. Chuck away the minus. We'll get the wrong answer, which is 22.29, but that's going to help us generate the correct answer. The first one will be, okay, right, we need to figure out where tan is negative. Well, if it's positive here and here, then it will be negative there and there. Why are they going to be negative? Tan is y over x. Okay? Here, x is negative, y is positive, so y over x will be negative. Here, x is positive, y is negative. Again, tan will be negative. So it's those two. So your first solution, okay, from here to get to there, what do I do? 180 minus theta. So it's 180 minus 22,29. And the second solution is going to be 360 minus 22,29. And I'm going to just leave you to do that. Okay? You can do that on your own. Okay, guys? I'm just going to pause here and see if there's anything that I forgot to say. Okay, chaps, I will do one more example because I can see in that worksheet that Mrs. Funny gave us, there's some difficult ones, okay? And let me just start by saying this is what below under exercise 11. If you don't get it, it's really not that big deal, guys. This is really like proper grade 11 stuff. And I think, anyway, I will fight that if we have something like that in a test, it's going to be very small, it doesn't have a lot of weight, and we'll try and push it away from the exam, because it really is grade 11 stuff. And actually, in exams, normally, in tests, we sometimes do grade 11 stuff, but exams, we normally don't. So don't panic if you don't get it. It's a bit hard. Okay, so I've got this equation. 2 cosine 2 beta, okay, I use the letter beta here, minus 26 equal minus 0.15. Okay, just like what we did with the tan, let's try and get rid of things that might be, I want to just have a pure cosine. I don't have any numbers next to it or ahead of it. So I'm going to write cosine 2 beta minus 26 equal divided by 2 minus 0.75. Okay? And they tell you that this nightmare that we have inside the cosine, 2 beta minus 26, is between 0 and 360. At this point, just treat this 2 beta minus 26 as if it's theta. As if this whole bracket just says theta. So they tell you, okay, find theta, and you know that theta is between 0 and 360. So you know you're going to get two solutions. Eventually, once we found that theta, that 2 beta minus 26, then we actually asked to solve for beta, to find beta. And don't worry, we'll get it. Now what we got to do, we got to use the calculator. So if I want to find 2 beta minus 26, I got to do cosine minus 1. And I ditch the minus 0.75. Okay, let's do that. So shift cosine. I use the positive, 0.5, okay? And I get 41.41. 41.41. Now, that's obviously the wrong answer because I use positive instead of negative 0.575. But I know this gives me this angle, that theta, the acute angle. And now I'm going to use it to find the right answer. So I need to ask myself, when is cosine negative? Okay, or I can find where it's positive, and then the alternative will be negative. So it's positive where everyone, also take quote, everyone is positive here, and it's also positive here. So it's going to be negative there. But you know me, I like to understand why is cosine negative? Because cosine is about x over r, and over here the x coordinates are negative. So these are the two angles that I've got. How do I make up these two angles? By knowing theta. This one I'll do 180 minus theta. This one I'll get by adding to theta 180. So your first, okay, instead of calling it theta, remember we said what is the theta? The theta is this whole thing here. 2 beta minus 26, okay, equal to 180 minus 41.41. Okay, so I take that 41.41, I do 180 minus 41.41. So in other words, 2 beta minus 226 is equal to 138.59. Okay? This is where we kind of stopped in our last calculation, last problems. Because we had theta on the one side and then we got the answer. But now we don't have a theta, we want to know beta. But that's a simple algebraic equation. How do I know beta if I know this is 138? I move the 26 over there. 26 plus 138.59. I divide it by 2. So let me just do that. Okay, plus 26 divided by 2, and I got 82,30. Beta equal 82,30. That's one angle. But that's just one solution, right? That was just one solution. Because remember, I have another solution. Let's do it in red. The other solution, I can even say, okay, so this was beta 1, that one solution. Okay? The second solution, B2, is going to be not here, but rather there. Bending my arm here. How do I get that? I do 180 plus 41,41. And let's just find that. So 2 beta 2 is going to be equal to, I'm just going to do a few steps together, right? So I'm going to do 180 plus 41,41. Okay? And I'm going to add 26. So I'm adding the 26. And I got 247,41. 247,41. And then divide by 2. Can you still see that? You can. Divided by 2. 123,71. 123,71. And one answer, two answer. Woo! Bit tricky. Guys, as I said, as I started that video, this is higher level. And if you don't get that, please don't worry. Okay, please don't worry. It really is next year's level. We're just introducing to it here. Might come up in one little test. In the exams, we're not going to do it. Okay? Have a lovely day. I'll see you later. Next lesson, we start drawing graphs. It's nice. It's a bit more gentle. Much, much more gentle. Cheerio.